Looks like everything's working. So let's get down to it. Do I know what to do about 3 3 points? I don't know. I just, whatever. It's pretty wide, isn't it? I'm just gonna do my thing. Do I want to pincer this? Maybe. I'm just going to, whether I approach here directly, maybe hmm, probably get pincered on this side. Let's place something very wide, and then well, we'll see. We'll see. Will just one space jump out? That's never bad. Nah. Their 3 would be perfectly fine. It's a bit different if white. Well, I think this makes sense. And then 5 space, 3 space. There might be something here, maybe. Well, I should take care of the corner. That seems very important. And maybe this is a case where actually this split is good. I think maybe I don't necessarily remember Joseki though, so I'm just gonna wing it. We're gonna wing it, chat. Or yeah, okay. This, I think this is 018 feels right. What's correct here? This would be, well, obviously it's no good. I have to place something on this side. Uh, I think splitting white stones, I think that's proper. And then I can, well, we'll see, I suppose. I need to go at least one more here. Then, oh, I wonder if it's supposed to depend on a ladder. I have to read here, chat. Or I can keep going and then, well, let's see. If I connect, then I suppose I can get the corner, but it's a squeeze, which maybe this doesn't favor me. But then again, white's still split. Let's connect this. And I guess let's get squeezed. Maybe it's okay. I think I haven't gotten... I think it's not bad for black. I think it's acceptable. Then I've only got... Okay. Yeah. Then I've only got one set of stones here that is really... that needs to be worried about. Now this side's fine because I don't need to strength. These stones are strong, so it's okay. G16 feels right intuitively in terms of shape. Let me do something, chat. Okay. G16 feels intuitively correct, just based on patterns I think remember. But maybe I don't like it, chat. I'm not sure. Let's play H16. I think the shape, it's probably going to be okay. At the very least, okay. Well, that's fine. I think I can give up this stone. After all, this is... So I'll curl around. That seems proper. Then... These two sides seem to be both equally wide, but I want to look at these stones in the future to get good use out of them. So if I play high, that might make sense. Then because this stone is low, there's a bit less potential than these stones which are high, right? So I should be more inclined on this side. And then if and when I get split, then, or if white plays on this side and I do something over here, I think this might not be as strong as since white has this little area. So maybe it's not. Well, let's see. If I get attacked close, then I think it's actually fine. I'm sort of. It doesn't make these stones weak though. If I sort of go in, white can probably ignore on this side. White here or here maybe. If I play here, the sort of what looks to me like an ideal white spacing would be effectively shoulder hit from there, closer, and I feel like I've got something on the side, maybe. And from this side, the lower side, then depending on how close it is, maybe I actually pincer and get into a big fight and die horribly. Well, let's try this one. Maybe I'll ask Mr. Redmond for some sort of puzzle on. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. On where to play on that side of the board since everything got settled. Now, I wonder if attaching on this side would mean anything. I remember Romera talking about an attachment like this, but it was in a different position. It was a side, it was an end game. It was something like an end game Tessage. But maybe. Yeah, YOLO. We'll just We're flying by the seat of our pants here. Oh, and maybe the attachment was a third line thing as well. Well, let's see. If I go here, then at least the threat of connection means I'm not getting nothing, right? I'm getting something, perhaps. Okay, well, this seems proper. And this seems proper, so I may be getting something here, possibly. There's potential for a ladder. I have to... Yeah, okay. But that way would be like that. I think curling under here, that feels correct. Then something like C6 or C5, maybe? Let's see. In what way does it affect the corner if white plays... Well... C5 feels like the appropriate spacing. I think I want enough space. I think C6 feels a little cramped. C5. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely... maybe curling around this way was better, but I'll run this and then... Okay. I think this is... Ooh. Could I sack these 3 stones for something very strong in the corner? Or can I make something against the... Or can I lean against the corner or attack the corner somehow, and whether I either get Sente to come back to B8 or build something nice. Let's see. If I go against the corner right now, then it's pretty important that whatever I do be useful for these 4 stones on the D rank and C5 so that they don't get into trouble. Then, so what about E4? With the follow-up threat being like D2 or something. At least that's the Kema attacking with Kema. And it looks pretty... I think it looks kind of snazzy for the bottom side. Start developing. So what about E4? If white pushes, then that's fine. That's good shape. If I respond there. If D5, then maybe I curl around like this and get the outside. If something down here, possibly I return to B8. Maybe I extend or Hane or something. Let's try E4. Okay. White took the stones. Let's play D2. Okay, okay. B5. I think B5 makes sense. I think it should reduce the Aji. I still need to be a little bit careful about D5. I think E4 didn't like fix it completely. Like it's good shape for it, and it does look towards the bottom side. J12. Okay. Now I need to care about these stones. Now, one thing of use. Now, it's possible that this D11 stone can still be useful. It was... yes, it was an initial... Dale Duro, bro? Oni-chan? Oni-chan? Well, I think I'm happy enough being called Oni-chan. Now. Thank you for the follow. Now, running out with these... I don't want to get into a type of fight where white goes down here. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Well, if I were to loosely interpret it, it would be something like, please treat me well, or looking forward to it. It can be said in... the example that's off the top of my head is from Madoka Magica. Homura said, well, first timeline Homura at least says it when she's introduced in class. This F10 as a peep feels correct here, because if I threaten to split off these two stones, and then also maybe D11 does something, and then so F10 feels correct. I could try F10, yeah, F10, and then maybe I make the dog's face here. Of course, it depends on what white plays. Okay, okay. Well, this makes sense. This makes sense because now Hane looks like, how do you invite a friend to play? Well, I'm gonna play H10 because it's... Ah, oh, that's ads starting in. Okay, okay. I thought my little notification there was the ads were going already. Okay, okay. Mm, I need to think here because, of course, anytime anytime I can get it, I'd love to Tanuki somewhere over here. Um, maybe something like J3 or something, or maybe L3. Somewhere in this little box. But I need to settle these stones as fast as possible, because if I get into trouble with them later, it's a huge problem. And I want to do it in the in the least bother in the most bothersome for white way possible. If I can bother white somehow. Now, it's not like anything white has is going to die, and these stones they'd be really hard to attack, probably. Okay, well, let's see. It's not like I can make a base. It's not like black can make a base here. Everything's too tight. But if black can make eye shape in some manner, maybe I wonder if E13 is good shape. And then the problem is black would be very busy trying to cut white off at the same time as moving against white over here. So I think attacking white's central stones in some manner might be key to making something work. And so to that end, I'm inclined to try to split these stones, the white central stones, from the stones on the top that are very strong. But it's not like I want to be running out that way exactly. The way that feels the most open to run out is down the H file, more or less. Maybe something like G9. This is obviously a hypothetical, but G9, white G8, black H8, and then black has, well, it can be, the shape can be peeped and such, but it's hard, it's really hard to cut in any case. But maybe, is H8 any good? I'm gonna, I'm going to play G9 because I still think I need to help this group in some manner. Okay, okay. Understandable. I'm not sure if this kind of thing would have changed regardless of black playing on the bottom side. I'm not too worried about the side since this 3-4 5-3 is very solidly in the corner. What I have to worry about is Aji related to the lower left corner, while also still caring about black central group running out and accomplishing something, trying to get influence, doing something. I want to Hane to split here. That seems like the strongest type of response. I need to think about whether it's some sort of overplay. Now, one thing about the Hane at f5 is it does at least temporarily fix d5, right? Now, whether white gets something more annoying off of it, off of the Hane is, well, that remains to be seen. But let's Hane at f5. Okay, okay. What about d5, f3, and then running out and threatening to pull f5 out? The only problem is it leaves cutting points. But perhaps I'd, well, let's see. If e3, if white e3, black d4, white d3, don't things look troublesome? Don't things look troublesome? What if I just push through at e6, then oh yeah, that does prevent the white stone from escaping at the very least. So let's push through. Let's push through. I think that's better. I also need to worry about my time. Now, what does an assessment of the board state say? A bit of territory here, some good territory in the corner, It depends on how this goes, but I think I get some territory here. White has territory on the top and on towards the left side. White's captured these 3 black stones unless something revives them later. White's getting some potential in the center in the upper right quadrant, and can also potentially destroy any black territory on the side depending on how things go. Oh, E3 is interesting. And extending here seems proper. Better than capturing here. And then, okay. So this turned out White's Aji in the corner turned out to be working pretty okay for White. Then I could try to, well, let's see. F3, extend G3. Does black have anything with that? I'm more inclined to just say, okay, White, you can have the corner. I'm going to do stuff on the outside. Do stuff with these black stones running out. And see whether I can make anything of it. Okay, yeah, I'll say G4, White, go ahead and live in the corner. Go ahead and do that. Now, do I follow up with G3? I think so, because there might be enough, because White might not be alive just yet. I think White needs a little bit something extra somehow. So let's play G3. Okay. Well, G5 is certainly proper. Now I'll connect here because it's at F6. Because it's pointed towards... Okay. H5. That means that it's not necessarily easy for, or it's a bit tricky for black, because the G-file stones need to, they kind of need to run out. And then White's, well, I need to run them out right now. Now I won't necessarily connect to my group here with my center stones. If White cuts them though, I'm sort of running out, and then White's, I think things get a bit complicated, but I think something like J3, I don't know if I can get away with anything like K3. I'm going to play J3 because these are definitely the stones that matter immediately. Now, what would I accept as a good outcome? I would accept if I killed white stones in the corner, and if something in my center stones lived painfully. Painfully would be, well, it's okay. I'll say it like this: if I kill this corner without any problems, then I would accept a degree of pain in making something of my central stones. but I would not accept them dying outright. Okay. Well, at least the follow-up move is pretty clear. H8, and because G7 is a very important threat. Now, how to play in the center. Now, I feel like I can't get away with something like K5. I think my shape feels rather thin. Now, L4 would be very nice for the bottom side, but then my black stones have a harder... my center stones, I don't have... the reinforcement is not any closer. I don't know if K5 would actually reinforce anyways. So, L4 is a consideration if I think I can handle this group. And also come back with something like B3 feels like the correct... maybe B2, but B3, something... Oh, C4 takes... maybe B3 is a bit too ambitious because of the weakness of the D4 and E4 stones. However, what if, hypothetically, if I could get G6, cover, and cut? The thing is, white probably won't let me just... White wouldn't let me do that, I think. Now, suppose I play G6, white plays H7, and I push through with H6, then something like J8, and things start looking pretty bothersome for black, I think. Or even just J7. And it's not worth these stones to have a lot of pain for my central group. Yeah, only the corner would be worth that. So, however, I'm also unsure whether one move is enough for me to make do in the corner. Especially since my stones are slightly cut off now. It's like white's not alive, but black's also not alive, right? So I'd have to... I'd have to take care. If, on the other hand, I could threaten to push out later in an advantageous way, then I'd be happy. So, my goal is do something to help my center stones that also threatens black pushing out something like G6 later, threatening H6. Okay. So, what about H7? The obvious response is G6 for white to play defensively. Then, Then black needs a move in the corner. Somehow, something to... Black would need something in the corner. I'm not sure how to go about it. But then black's shape feels a little bit better for running out into the center. It does give white an empty triangle, at least, if white connects. That feels... Well, I'm going to play h7. How to manage the corner. If I play c6, well, let's see. I need to... Well, c6 is at least Sente, right? At the very least, it's Sente, because then I live on the side. Now, maybe it's not absolute Sente. Maybe white counter-sacrifices and harasses me in the center, lives in the corner, whatnot. Let me think. If I play b3, if white plays c4, if now I play b4, and I have to read. And let's see. b4 for white is no good, of course. Just a straight up b4. b3. I'll go with b3. I think I can potentially sack the d4 and e4 stones in any case. I have to be a bit careful with it. But maybe I can get b2 and get a situation where white can't capture them fast enough. And I live, and maybe white lives after something like g2. Well, the shape. White's shape is a bit... Chat, is this working for black? Am I actually keeping pace so far? I'd be a bit surprised if I was keeping pace after things got this complicated. B2. B2. Okay. Now. This is a little bit... Now, this is 4 liberties to 2. Even if I started covering liberties, I'm not exactly... Wait a minute. What if, hypothetically, black gets c2, white gets b4, black gets c4, white takes. Now a squeeze, a type of capturing race. Oh, because of my weaknesses, it looks rather precarious. Okay. Can I fight some kind of co? I don't know that I have co-threat. I mean, I can sort of peep in places, and I can threaten to cut white off in the center. I think, and these stones are sort of loose enough that I think I can. I think I could fight some sort of co. Can I get some sort of co? Now, if I play a2, and a4, is that an actual co, or is it just a big nothing? Because let's say a2, b4, a4, c4, c2, c2. Or, if I just play c4 now, a3 is the most critical, maybe. a5 would also do the trick, probably. Although maybe I'd have a way to a6 takes a4, make connecting a bother and try something that way. Maybe. Just a4 would also probably be pretty annoying for black. This is where I spend all my time trying to figure something out over here. Oh, now if a2, even just c4 would be and then white c2 after. Yeah, a4 is critical as well. It's and the fact that white is winning by 2 moves over here is it's enough that it's a pain. Let's see. c4. Now, if a3, I play a4. If a5, again, I probably just play well, maybe I play a6 first. But a4, and then that's something at least. And then, but a4, if I play a3, if white connects, then a5 lives. If white plays a5, I take c2, a2, then connecting is good enough. Oh, or do I run into a shortage of liberties? I'll read that line, one line at a time. C4, A4, A3, A5, C2, A2, B4, then there's white doesn't have time to fill that liberty. White has to connect, and then B1. Then I've got just enough space to live. Okay. C4, A4, A3, A5, C2. Can white immediately? Okay. And then there's the A3 and A5 potential as well. But at least I can get a go out of those. But I'm not going to read those out in full because of time. So I'll play C4. And pray, chat. I'll pray. What's pray in Japanese? Inoru? Inori? Donai nori mo donasa kebi go esamo Mujakina soberlini no mikomale hajimeru. Many wami enai. Ushilono sho mendale. Bokalano ito wa. Itsuka nata e tsunagaru. Kakekai no nai. Ano no kotoba ga silent. Malu desu bete ga. Bukimini awale muyona. I have to read F7 and F8. Takes that. I don't have enough liberties that way. And again, ace, well, it wouldn't work anyways, but and there's a shorter of liberties both. So I have to play some massive co-threat. Something very, very big. Okay. Now, O14 into this. I don't think it's good enough. I'd have to make a big... I don't think I have anything big enough, chat. I think white just takes the ko. Well, I could try E9. E9 would be white takes the ko. Black F, or what? White finishes the ko by playing A5. White F8, and white connects with F7. And I haven't killed anyone, and I haven't And because these 3 stones are still dead, white, I can't do anything to these 5. Um, and it's a co-threat that hurts me in any case. Okay. Hypothetically, if I could split white's 2 groups and K18's big for white, if I were to split and somehow take away the ice space and K18 would still be available for white, and so I don't know that I could actually cut white off. But I think a splitting attack is maybe my best option. I'm looking at L14 and M14. Let's play L14. Yep. Yapali, as expected. And then I have to play in some manner to really try to make something big in the center and also get K18 if I can, and maybe O14 if possible. But black's going to be very busy trying to do all that. So let's play L13. We're just going to play out something here without spending too much time. And because of that, we're not really going to be able to accomplish anything against 9 Dawn Pro. But we'll we'll basically set up for resignation and then go to the game review. If white cuts here and black has to connect, these 2 stones get netted. So black got a free move at J9. Or white got a free move at J9, I should say. So that's effective. Okay. White's threatening the lower side. Now, if white gets those, it's definitely enough extra to be very strong. So that's another white move on the outside, in all likelihood. If I play k3, even if white just extends, it's probably very painful for black to not keep extending to a certain degree. Which means white gets a lot of outside stuff. So because of that, I'll say, all right, I guess you can have those, probably. I'll just try to... What's the strongest move I can... Whatever, I'm just gonna jump out here. Yapali. As I thought. White getting stuff there. Now I'll play k18 and pray that I still have some sort of attack. I'm going to try to keep attacking. At least attacking might be instructive. Like, even if giving this away on the bottom side was too much, then I can still at least try to attack. So now J16 would be, I really want to keep attacking a split group, because then it's annoying for white to deal with. But if I play L16 and follow up with L17, and then when white pushes through, then things get rather tricky for black, because K14 connecting might be a bit forced. Losing the cutting stone would be bad. And then H14 and we're cooked, I think. So
10.
Oh,
9.
snap. I'm out of time. I have to see whether it's possible to connect underneath. Ooh, then I start having trouble with the capturing race. That's a problem.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I don't see anything else, chat. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, the peep makes sense. The peep makes sense. Let me
10,
think.
9,
L17
8,
then under? Is
7,
anything different
6,
because of...
5, 4.
Yeah, okay. Wait. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's quite working, chat. I think we're cooked. That's what time trouble gets you into, eh? Yeah, yeah. Absolutely cooked.
Ten,
Uh,
9, 8,
uh, yeah, yeah. And I can't split, and then I'm out of liberties, and then... But I literally just
10,
have to play
9.
moves. All right. And white says, yep, that wasn't threatening enough. So now you're gonna run into trouble.
10, 9,
I might
8,
just have
7.
just play moves, just play moves. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Um
10,
I don't think this is any good. Yeah, it's just a ladder. In any case. Um Oh wait, yeah, because white F18. Uh mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um um do I have any time Suji? Um I think that was it. I don't think I have any. Oh boy. Okay, new goal. Can I actually take these central stones, even though I've lost even more? Um, well, what if I play this peep? Let's play this peep. I don't... Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Then... Uh, let's try L9. I just remembered something. I need to check stream elements. Okay. Um, I guess I'll play N10. Well, I just have to play on this side now. I'm not quite threatening a ladder, am I? I guess the N11 and N10 stones get captured while I try to escape. And yeah, that's it, chat. We've been cooked. White's central group lives, and black is still... All right. That's our resignation.
White wins.
I need to go to my overlays. And a moment, chat.
Hello. Okay, I'll see if I can move the mic. How's that? Oh yeah, very good. Okay. So
All right, I had missed something, chat. I had forgot to mute uh, Redmond Sensei, but he said it's okay to stream the review, so we will
Yep.
be doing that. Have you started the review yet?
I will now. Okay.
Okay.
Review started.
Chat, how is Michael Redmond's volume?
Should I say something? Hello?
Yeah, yeah. They might not answer right away, but let's review.
Okay. So you see the starting position?
Yes.
Empty board? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Here, it's probably better to curl around. Let's see. Yeah.
Yes, I was
So
considering curling immediately.
curling around, and I will play here. to stop black from extending its S17, I need the stone at 4. And the old joseki is to play here. Sometimes you see an AI play here. So, yeah, the AI review
Okay.
here wants you to cut. So
But
this is the
that would
reason that cutting is played more often now is because it's stronger against a move like this when white plays here. So there's
okay.
a bit more room for white to move around when you've played the move at 5. And when you cut here, it does give white some momentum when white does this, but you can counter by pushing twice. And that makes white a bit heavy with the 4 stones.
Okay.
Yeah.
But curling around immediately and not cutting right away makes use of my K file stones better because it
Well,
goes for the
here
outside.
you probably do want to add another stone so you can cut now. So that would be okay.
Yeah.
The problem with cutting first is that if we assume, so this is the game variation. So for instance, one of your options would have been to crawl here, but then I
Hmm.
would have played here and cut here. And I don't know. I could play away. I could play something on this side. It's probably not so big to play at 10, so I might play away actually. So maybe something
Hmm.
like this. Or I might I could finish the ladder. I could play somewhere around here. So this is probably not very satisfactory for black. And it was possible because you played that exchange of this stone for this stone. So that's what allowed me to break through at
Hmm.
2 and 4. Yeah. So if you had not played that, I would not have this option. And I actually had that option one move earlier. So for instance, I could have done it here. Um, the difference being that M17 is not always forcing now. So
Hmm.
that was an option. I had a choice there. This would have been good for white. So it would have been another way I could have played. And it's again the reason that this was possible is because you played this too early. So that's why
Right.
you don't want to play the tar yet. Okay. So yeah, so it was good for you to make that trade.
Yes. And I, some of the variations you were showing me gave black more on the outside. And so I would have preferred those because
Hmm.
it feels like my K file stones are more useful there.
Hmm.
They're potentially helping secure territory. Um,
So that's basically, I think you're talking about this variation, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So this was better for black. This is the way I would suggest you should have played. Yes.
But I think I did damage control okay.
Hmm. Yeah. So this was the correct move. Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't bad. That was looks like it was a reasonable way for you to deal with that weak group. So up to that point. So when you've added this stone on the left side,
Hmm.
um, it can be an asset when it connects up to the black group on the top side, or it can be a liability when it doesn't. So
Right,
you
right.
really want to try to you want to
Yeah,
start linking up
a
here.
one space jump
Yeah.
isn't bad here.
Right. And so that's the way I would do it. Let's see what the AI says. The AI says you should play here. So this would be a more greedy way to go about it. And so say I play something like this, then you can start. Yeah, so it has you playing this move. You can start connecting up in a more efficient way. So that would be an attempt to
Oh,
do it
so
in a more
C
efficient manner.
C13 was okay after all.
Yeah. So this way you wouldn't be able to connect up, but you would be getting a base on the side. So then you'd be
Hmm.
back to just the one weak group. So the real problem is having it attacked on a large scale, whereas in this case it would be relatively a small scale.
Hmm.
So yeah, so the AI move is like as far as AIs are concerned, that's better. But I think from as a human player, I'd still say it's okay to just play the jump if you're in doubt.
Hmm.
So this was maybe a bit too fancy. It was an interesting trade. Yeah, here you had the right idea. I think it was better to play here.
E3.
Yeah. So this would come closer to finishing off the corner, and you could you could add a stone here. So in this case, you're on the third line on both sides of the 3 point,
Hmm.
and that makes it very difficult for me to live. So in order to live there, this is probably at some point it's going to be a forcing move. So it's probably forcing already, and at the very least, if I have a stone somewhere on the bottom side, it's going to be forcing. But just the one forcing move is never going to be enough to give me a living shape. So it's just not enough room. So I
And
need to have
and if I
two.
want to, I can let you live and expand on the bottom side.
Well, yeah, the point is that it's just extremely difficult for me to live, actually.
Hmm.
So I need both 6 and 8, and in particular, 8 is just not going to happen. So if you're there on the third line, I don't have enough room to live. That's why you can play at 5 high up, and so you're going to be playing a high move in the process of killing my group. So it's very efficient.
Hmm.
So that's the reason I sort of question this move, because if I play here, I'm still alive. You need one more move on the second line to kill it. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're not really connected there. So yeah. So you at some point you should probably play here, and
Hmm.
this would make the connection between this stone and your group. So all of your stones, it would fix the connection. And also it would be creating a cut here. So after this, you would have forcing moves. For instance, this would be forcing. So it would be easy for you to make an eye at J15 if you needed that. So filling this point would be threatening to cut at G17. So you'd have a forcing move there. In the case that you were going, if you play here, and then you seem to have a potential attack against White's group on the right, then you would have a forcing move here also, threatening the cut on at
Hmm.
G17.
Hmm.
So you have various forcing moves, which give you some extra value for that move at 1. Sometimes you can follow up with an attachment here and then bumping against White, and it can give you some extra space in the center. So it starts
Okay.
to make eyes. So that was an important point. The reason is that if I play something like this, I can cut you off. So when I do this, you can capture the stone at 5. Actually, you can't capture it that way, can you? You have to capture it with this, but I can get the 5 stones on the top side.
Hmm.
So there's this cut that I have in reserve, sort of. So it was something that I didn't do immediately, and I knew that I have that there, and that's why it's a good point for you to play here. So if you play here, then the cut, it just goes away. I'd like to say it goes away. There's might be some issues, but let's see. Maybe not completely. If you can bump against there at some point, let's see, how would you do it? You could extend. It looks a bit complicated, doesn't it? So yeah, let's forget that. Okay, but it still looks like a good point. At the very least, you'd be able to live. So like you could maybe do this thing, and if I answer here, then you could play here, or you could play here. You should have enough room to make 2 eyes if you do something like this.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe you'd have to go this way. All right, so here I'm just trying to play a forcing move. So 1 or 2 forcing moves. If you play here, I still have a forcing move here, and then that would be it. So when you have this weak group in the center, maybe it's a good idea to keep things simple
Okay.
in the strong group where you have that corner territory. Provided you answer my forcing moves, this is not really going to change the status of your group in the center. It's just going to give me maybe a little profit towards the bottom side when I
Okay.
later on
Okay.
when I play some kind of extension. There's some profit in my having those two stones in there, but they're not really participating in any potential attack against the center. So
Okay.
and you probably want to prioritize the health of your group in the center.
Yeah, I knew
And
you
when you play
wanted
Hane like this,
forcing
it's
moves. I
it's a
just
stronger locally, but it's going to give me momentum. It makes it more dangerous. So, for instance, if you had played here at this point, I would play here, and it would get really so. Like you could maybe, sorry, you could capture the three stones, but it would be leading up to some kind of it would be leading up to a problem in the center of the board where you might lose that whole group on the top. So, for instance, something like this would be very dangerous where your group in the top already looks like it might be dead. Locally, of course, it's a very strong way to play, but it's just the fact that you have that group on the other side that you don't really want to die with. Okay, so yeah, you made this. Yeah, so if you had played here, this would have kept things relatively simple. You could jump here or play a Hane.
mm,
Or since the cut is not forcing anymore, you could play here. This would be slightly more complicated, but it would be easier for you than the game because now it's much more difficult for me to cut you off.
mm.
Maybe you can even push once more. Yeah. So the problem with covering at 5 is that it's still very difficult to kill white in the corner. In fact, it's almost
Yes.
impossible.
Yes.
So you would want to play this way if you thought you could kill white in the corner. But when you can't, maybe it's just simpler to play something towards the center like this, which would be
Mm-hmm.
a lot easier. And allow me to play this one. So then you'd be able to counterattack. Yeah. So here, yeah. Yeah. So again, at this point, if you play something like this, it's going to be very difficult for me to continue any kind of attack on the center. And I probably want to play this big move on the side. And then you could start thinking about maybe counterattacking on this side. Or otherwise you could, for instance, add a stone to make sure of your connection. And you're pretty much okay on this side because when I do this, I'm already short of liberties. So I can't cut you. If I do it this way, now you're alive at any point. So when I try to add an attack against your group on the side, you have this forcing move which gives you 2 eyes. So it's very difficult for me to attack black in this area when you've played it 1. So that was probably an important move. I think um, even when you're playing against opponents about your own strength, it's always good to prioritize making your groups healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That this is sort of an example of how you could have done that. Yeah. So here you're sort of in a dilemma because your group on the top half of the board is locally it's not alive yet. And I bet if I asked an AI, the AI would find a way to make 2 eyes there. But it's not really super clear to me either how you would actually go about doing that. So it would probably involve getting a stone here, and that would create a forcing move here. You might gradually find some way to make some space there. But I think you'd be challenged to find a correct sequence to make 2 eyes for this group. So it means that you don't want me to surround it. So for instance, if you play here and here, sorry, I'm using the wrong tool here. So if you push through here, it's very difficult to find the correct sequence to continue and make 2 eyes. It looks like it might actually die. But if you don't do that, your group on the left is in trouble. So that's why you're sort of in trouble here, and you pushed from this side. And here. And here. Yeah. So this is the best option you have. Only you didn't need to play that move at c6, and that was your co-threat.
Ah.
So if you had played here and here, so like for instance, if I play here and here, you can do this now. And now white's in trouble. So you can, the timing was a bit too early.
Okay.
So if I play here, this is probably the better move for white. And now you can play here. So you have a co-threat there, which would capture these two stones and give you two eyes. And then now so you have another co-threat here. And now it's a direct co. And you have a co-threat here. So it actually gives you about 3 co-threats.
Ah, interesting.
So you could have captured the corner, or maybe I'll just, there's various ways I can avoid that, but they all involve, so for maybe my best choice would be to allow you to live. But this would be okay. So in this case, it's significant that this group has lost some of its eyes.
Hmm.
So if any stuff, if I get really aggressive, sometimes we get into a fight in this area, sometimes you can cut me off. So it adds some potential there for black with forcing moves like e10 here, and sometimes forcing moves from the 5th line, which can be very significant when you're trying to make 2 eyes there in the center. So it would take some pressure off your group in the center just by reducing my eye space. So this would be a pretty good option for black. Yeah, so you lost your co-threat there. Yeah, so you did have one co-threat. Sorry. I probably would have answered this one. And so if I play here and you
Oh,
play
I
here,
thought that one was no good.
this would be a squeeze. So like it's not necessarily good for black, but from the starting
Ah.
position, it's a lot better than anything else you could do. So in this case, you'd have a moyo on the bottom side, and your group would be connected out, and you would be threatening to do something like this, or the peep here. You'd have attack potential on the top there. So the good thing about this is that you control the rest of the board now.
Okay.
So you're going to control the fight from here on. White did get a lot of territory, so like I have something like 70 points of territory. But that's still enough that like if you get the whole bottom side somewhere around here, it's going to be a close game. So I have to
Ah.
invade there, and you're going to be attacking me. So that would give you some potential. It would keep the game relatively. So I'd probably answer that co-threat. But you only have the one co-threat. So like if we assume a variation like I was just showing you, you're going to eventually run out of co-threats anyway. So you played there and there, yeah. So that was a reasonably good co-threat. Yeah. So you're actually attacking in the center. And so it would have been okay to defend this side. And you're going to still be attacking. So I might play here. And then you can extend here. Or whatever you do, you're out of the woods now. You're not in trouble.
Hmm.
So it's more of white sort of trying to handle all of white's weak groups. Okay, yeah, so that wasn't quite working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh well. But once you've done it, you probably have to play here
Yep.
and extend. So when you extend here, you're still threatening to. Let's see, how do you want to do this? You probably cut this way. Yeah, you're still threatening to cut here, and then you would be attacking in the center. Maybe here. So cutting at 5 is a pretty important attack. It gives your group on the left some attacking potential. So if I answer here, then you're going to be surrounding this on a large scale. So you probably had to go for this this trade.
Hmm.
And this move here, it's in a good point now. So because of that stone there, your group there is probably not going to die. So yeah, I think once you've started that fight, you probably have to continue by saving the 2 stones on the side.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because this way,
At that point, I had no time at all.
yeah, I noticed when you played the throne at a6 that you were out of time. That's when I noticed that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here it's getting difficult. You could have kept playing if you'd played this way. So this was the Tesuji here, and it makes use of the fact that the ladder favors you.
Mm.
So something like this. And so this ladder favors you also. And I play here. And so yeah, it might get tricky, but you do have the cut here, which allows you to play here. So like you could continue it doesn't look like black's going to be attacking very strongly, because white's pretty strong now,
Hmm.
and your group in the center is still. So it would be a tough fight, but that would be the Tesuji to stop me from getting your stones in a get on would be this move. So when you play here, I get the extension and it's a net. So yeah, going back to the beginning, I think a key point is, well, yeah, as far as knowledge or Joseki stuff is concerned, it's this move where you should have done the other variation.
Hmm.
So there was this thing. And then in positional ideas, if we take it to this point, like the idea here of playing Kikashi from above was a good idea. And then I think you just have to.
Uh,
I think it's really a good. It's both are valid moves in a way, and you just have to choose the one you like.
hmm.
This is more tricky because it involves the willingness to sacrifice that group on the top in some cases. So like if I play here and we get into a fight like this, in some cases the AIs is gonna want you to sacrifice that group on the top. So it's gonna
Mm.
be the correct continuation, you might say. It can get a bit tricky. Whereas if you play the other move, your idea to connect up is relatively simple. So
Mm.
it's easier to follow up, I think. But I think it's okay to play either one. And yeah, this was the move that the AI suggested. So it's probably in that context, it's probably the better move.
Okay.
So those were the 2 important points. After here, it gets really like it's specific to the position. So like that, it does, maybe it will help if your opponents play 3 points against you. It will help to know that you get both sides like this. It's
Okay.
locally it's sort of a dead shape. So
That is good to know.
yeah. Okay, that's any questions about the game?
Maybe one.
Do you want control?
Yeah.
Let's see. See if I remember how to do this. Yeah, okay, you have control.
Uh, I want to think about where might you think of playing in this position?
As black?
Yeah.
Well, a really simple way would be to play something like this in the center. And once you
Uh,
play that, like in order to
hold
attack this
on.
black group, white really
Let
needs to
me
get both
see
sides.
about passing
Oh,
control back.
sorry. Okay, yeah. I can take control back. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, are you synced with me now?
Yes.
So playing something in the center like this would be the default move. So I think it's the way you played was sort of it was a tenuki. So are you seeing the game I played in the center?
Yes.
Yeah. So this would be a way for settling the black group. and I've marked 2 points on the side. White really needs to get stones on both of those points to attack black. So if white plays something on this side and you play here, you're not only is your connection really strong, but you have something like an eye there inside those large knight's moves. Makes it really difficult for me to continue attacking you.
Okay.
So this would be it's a shape that you use when you really want to save that group. So the reason I didn't comment on this before is because white's played a lot of stones on the top half of the board. So all of those white stones are creating a white territory.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just actually what we're looking at is a few black stones sort of clinging to the white wall. So they're not really doing anything. And most of the space attached to those stones is already white territory. So that means that it's an option to sacrifice them. So like if I did something like this, so yeah, just imagine something like this. You probably shouldn't be very unhappy about this trade. You're probably gaining more on the left side than you lost by giving me that top side. So this would be an option because the top side, so this much of the top side was sort of, it was my territory to start with. So
Mm-hmm.
we're just talking about something like, well, if we count 2 points for each black stone, it's 10 points in the stones, and then 10, 20 points added onto that. So if you're getting the left side, 20 points on the left side in an area where I should have been expecting some territory, then you should be happy with that.
Okay.
And so, so that's why I didn't play like this. And if we look at the game, let's see, where am I? If we look at the game, you can see how the scale is much larger.
Ah.
So now it's now I'm surrounding from this line. Well, at the outmost line, it looks like it's half of the board, right? So
Mm.
it's a much larger area. So now when I attack that black group, you're obliged to try to save it
Okay.
because the scale is bigger. So it's a lot. It's a big difference in the scale. Let's see if I can find that other variation that was. Um, I lost it. It's way back here. This one. This is a much smaller scale, right?
Mm.
So that's the difference I'm talking about here. So sacrificing on a small scale is an option, which allows you to play away. So you could even play. Let's see. You could play anywhere on the left side. You could even play far away like this, in which case you would be thinking of um, a move like this and a move on the side somewhere around here would be generally they would be miai. So you would, if white tries to kill your group, you would just make sure it was small scale, or if white made it big scale, then you'd start thinking about playing something like this. So this
Mm.
would be a slightly more tricky approach, but the fact that you can think of sacrificing the group makes something like this also an option. And the game move was an option. So the game move, not necessarily bad. You sort of the right idea. The left side is important too. So you're playing on the left side. So provided you link up to it, it's easy to play. I think it's an
Okay.
easy way. Um, and this too. This is not so difficult to play either, provided you just have to be more aware of the danger.
Mm.
It's a bit more. It's a trickier way of playing. But yeah, so if you want a shape to remember, I'd say that this is a shape that typically is a good way to settle groups like this. But
Uh,
in this board position, it was small enough that maybe you didn't have to do that.
yeah. I wasn't necessarily looking for a shape to remember, although that is good to know. I
Yeah.
was Yeah, I was thinking about sort of direction of playing stuff. So what you showed me was good.
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
the left side is pretty important in this position. So heading towards the left side was probably a good idea.
All right. Anyways, thank you for the game and for the review. And I'll see you later, ne?
Yeah, next month maybe. Bye.
All right. Thank you, chat, for watching. I will... Let's see if there's someone I want to raid. There probably will be. Given that I'm playing Go, so there's a good chance there are Go players to watch. Octopodes Titan, Octopodes, however that's pronounced. Again, thank you all for watching, and as always, I will keep studying.